a level plain of an oblong shape surrounded by mountains, right? The Rocky Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, right? The Great Plains, the breadbasket of America, the breadbasket of the world, right? It said that the mountains were celebrated for their number and size and beauty, for beyond any which still exist, having in them also many wealthy villages of country folk, and rivers and lakes and meadows, supplying food enough for every animal, wild or tame, and much wood of various sorts, abundant for each and every kind of work. Right? What does that sound like? I mean, based on the shit that y'all be teaching, we be teaching, everybody be teaching the abundance of America, right? Right? It talked about all these rivers and lakes, all these rivers and lakes. You feel me? They talk about, it mentioned all the stories of Atlantis mentions the term orichalcum, right? Orichalcum coated pillars, floors, and walls of great and holy temples. They were dedicated to Cleto and Poseidon, right? Orichalcum has been said to be either pure copper or certain brass or bronze alloys. The name orichalcum derives from the Greek word orichalkos, right? Which means a mountain of copper, right? And based on the World Economic Forum, South America, specifically Chile, produces the world's most copper, right? Right? These motherfuckers were talking about America the whole time. Okay? Does it make sense? America's Atlantis. Everybody knows it, but you, right? America, Atlantis. Somebody's been lying. All right? Now watch this, though. Watch this. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing today? So there's a few ways. There's a few ways to prove these things to be true, right? I'm doing great, thank you. There's a few ways to prove these things to be true, right? We're gonna prove it. All right, so this is an Egyptian, so-called Egyptian temple that was found in Tennessee, right? Now, in 1933, the TVA conference that was organized included university representatives and agencies of the government. Their goal was to survey the land of the original inhabitants of America in order to declare exactly which sites would be intentionally submerged after the Norris Dam's completion. This site is ultimately known as Cox Mound. Put a one in the comments if you've heard of Cox Mound. Right? And the excavation project revealed 29 mounds and 17 of them containing prehistoric structures, right? So they intentionally submerged this after they completed the Norris Dam, right? Now the thing that's so interesting about that is that's not the only place that they've done that, right? They've done this multiple times. They've submerged all kind of cities, right? Can any of y'all name a city that's been flooded? Can any of us name a city that's been flooded? In the comments, put a city that you know that's been flooded, right? Now you also have anybody in Ohio. Is there anybody here? That's why they have flooded out so many cities. Exactly, Oscarville, right? Is that your book? I've been moving around and just noticed the title. Yes, it is. New Orleans, exactly. Lake Lanier, exactly, right? Any more? Exactly, Lake Lanier, Louisiana, right? Exactly, right? Now, during the construction of the Licking Summit Reservoir, this is in Ohio, in order to protect the East Bank from erosions, it was decided that a layer of stone would be needed. Between the years 1831 and 1832, 75 teams of wagons hauled 15,000 wagon loads of stone. And these stones were taken directly from the 55-foot mound pyramid, right? Discovered beneath the stones were 16 smaller mounds located around the circumference. The base of the main mound was 182 feet in diameter, making this an amazing site to have been discovered. For nearly 20 years, the mounds were left untouched until a farmer began to dig and was able to uncover a burial site along with artifacts. With the stones being removed as well as artifacts, the mounds were then surveyed and deconstructed, right? So, if you live in Ohio and you ever heard of Buckeye Lake or the Licking Summit Reservoir, this was created by a pyramid. It was created by a stone pyramid that they broke down and turned it into a dam, right? A reservoir. Okay. You also have Rock Lake. You also have Crescentish, right? All these things show traces that go back to the Mississippian mound building culture, right? Now, okay, this is the Mississippian territory, right? These are mound builders, all right? I want y'all to get that in your mind. These are the Mississippians. You know what I'm saying? So everybody talks about, right? Now pay close attention. These are the dams. Why is it so? Do y'all see that? Y'all see what's happening here? I just showed you that they were using these dams. They were creating these dams out of pyramids and temples. They were also using the water to flood towns. Now you got all these dams all located in these same areas, redirecting water to flood places. So how many of y'all think a lot of your culture, how many of y'all think a lot of your artifacts, how many of y'all think all the proof that you need to figure out what's really going on is underwater, right? How many of y'all think that the shit is just underwater, right? And we talked about reservoirs as well. Here goes the reservoirs. Why is it so condensed right here, or dense? You know what I'm saying, right? Right. Here goes the Shasta Dam rises as houses sink, right? This is the Shasta Dam, flooded a whole entire town, right? Not only did they flood towns, right? This is the Kennemer Mound, right? Hidden behind trees. Have you ever been driving and you look to the left or the right and you see something that looks like, yo, that don't look like a regular hill, that don't look like a regular mountain? Well, chances are it wasn't. Chances are it was a mound complex, or it is a mound complex. They've been using LiDAR to find these things, but I bet you they're not telling you about all of them that exist, right? So behind this, right? Behind all this was this. These are mounds, platforms, mounds, earthworks everywhere, all in the woods, right? So when you come up to this, it'll be like, oh, government property and all that shit. Like, do not enter. You know, you've been driving down the street and you see a sign that says "Do not enter." You know what I'm saying? And all that shit. That's because this is back there. This kind of shit. They don't want you to find it. They don't want you to find out what's going on back there, right? But the proof is in the wording, right? Remember, y'all, words are spells and curses, right? So the truth is in the words, right? Boulevard. The notion is of a promenade atop demolished city walls. How many of y'all have a boulevard in your town? How many of y'all have a boulevard in your town, right? The notion is of a promenade built atop demolished city walls, right? Everyone, right? So that means they've been building on top of a kingdom that already exists. And maybe it looks similar to what's happening right here, right? A boulevard atop demolished city walls. This is a boulevard in its truest definition, in its truest form, right? Some people say if you go to like places like St. Louis and you dig down into the ground, you'll see different kind of roads, like they built on top of other roads, right? You ever heard of that? Now, let's just make it even a little bit more like, wow, that's interesting, right? Now watch this. According to the Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. has 91,804 dams across all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Guam. Approximately 65% of all dams are privately owned, while federal, state, and local government agencies own 31%. The remaining 4% belong to public utility companies and tribal governments or remain unlisted, right? So, what happens if these privately owned dams were to just, hmm, who would you be able to blame it on? If the privately owned dams just, who can you blame it on? Right. Now remember, they said that you were once righteous and virtuous, right? They were righteous and virtuous. They seen you get debased, and after you got debased, they were able to turn you into human beings, right? Because they said you were the seeds of gods, and then you became debased, and they were able to turn the seeds of God into human beings. But what is human being, right? A monster. What is a monster? A human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal, right? That's why you call yourselves husband and wives, because you've been transformed and they switched, positions have been switched, right? You see what's going on here? Does anybody know what righteousness and virtue really consist of? Human beings. What is a human being? A human being is a monster. It's a creature. Why? Because a creature is a lower animal. A human being. Are y'all creatures? Are y'all monsters and creatures? Tell me. I need to know. Are y'all monsters and creatures and shit? No. Right? So I got a question for y'all. Why are, with all the things that are going on, we need to start redirecting our anger and redirecting our hate. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people arguing with poor people, arguing with other people that are struggling against the system. You know what I'm saying? People spend 5, 10, 15, 25 hours, you know what I'm saying, arguing with Africans. You making fun of them because they don't have shoes on. Oh, you walk outside with no shoes. But then your dumbass will turn around and say, "Oh, I'm about to go ground." Nigga, how are you gonna talk shit about an African not having shoes on when your stupid ass needs to go ground, right? So you're making fun of righteousness. You're supposed to be a god and a goddess, but you making fun of people for doing exactly what your stupid ass is supposed to be doing. Come on now, all right? You're pretending like their government isn't taking advantage of them. I get it, it's fun, but let's wake up, right? We got to be virtuous, moral life and conduct, uprightness of life, the opposite of a vice, a particular moral excellence. That's what they said. They said we put virtue above everything. We put moral excellence above everything. I ain't telling nobody to be perfect, and I ain't telling nobody not to have fun. But when are we gonna become the gods and goddesses that we're truly talking about? When are we gonna say, you know what? Why am I on the internet all fucking day arguing with somebody that can't do nothing for me? And if I win the argument, it benefits my people in absolutely no way whatsoever, right? Now, if you want to argue with an African, why don't you argue with the leadership? If you want to argue with a Native American, why don't you argue with a chief? If you want to argue with anybody, why don't you argue with the government? Why don't you argue with the people that are putting poison in the water, poison in the food, poison in the sky? Huh? Oh, now niggas want to leave? I knew it was going to happen. I knew as soon as I said stop arguing with Africans, niggas was going to leave. Because niggas rather argue with Africans than come up with a goddamn solution, right? Because as long as you get to argue with Africans all day and blame other people that are struggling, you don't have to face the real issues. You know what I'm saying? As long as you get to sit on a goddamn live and make fun of people because they're hungry and they're starving. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to you don't have to really face the real issues, right? Like goddamn, it gets to a point. I get the jokes, but in reality, there's children that are starving. So what is going on? Just because they're from Africa, you feel like a child deserves to starve and die, and you get to make fun of it. What? That's not what gods and goddesses do. Remember, all y'all dumbasses left the church because there's children starving around the world. Why doesn't God do nothing about it? Then you say, hold on, y'all. Then you say, we're gods and goddesses, right? And then you make fun of the children that are starving. So you're doing the same thing that you said God didn't do. You're doing the same shit that you said God don't do, and that's why you left the church. But then you turn around and called yourself a God, and you're not doing it either. So maybe the right? Huh? Make it make sense. Man, God ain't why ain't God helping the starving children? Well, you're God. You're God. And instead of helping them, you decided to get on live and talk shit about them. God. That's what God decided to do. Why isn't Jesus doing nothing? Well, Jesus said, "You'll do better works than me." But instead of doing better works, you decided to get on the internet and make fun of all the starving people and make fun of all the people that are struggling, make fun of the people that are going through similar issues as you. That's what happened. That's what Jesus and God are doing. They're making fun of the people that need help. They're fighting the people instead of fighting the system because they'd rather entertain a crowd than be free. They'd rather they'd rather fuck with the minds of people than bring them any kind of freedom, right? I don't have a solution, so I'm just gonna play with your minds and keep you on a fucking loop with me, right? Oh, I don't have no moderators. Oh, nah, don't nobody troll over here. We don't play that shit. You get the fuck on. You feel me? We talk about solutions over here. I don't do the dumb shit. You feel me? I don't do the dumb shit. Have I talked shit before? Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I've been on lives talking shit for real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just having fun. But I don't really want to hurt nobody. You know, I've talked shit before. I've talked a lot of shit. Definitely the Native Americans. I ain't gonna hold you. But usually it's more so about the information. You know, y'all see me when I go to places. I'm more so. I might talk a little bit of shit, but I ain't talking bad like that. I'm more so trying to like. I'll be like, oh, da 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 da. Bring the information out. They'll say, the crime in America, and I'll just be like, well, the crime in Africa. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like fuck you and them kids. Fuck you and like nah. I ain't doing none of that crazy shit ever. I, you know, right? So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to change this page. Where are we at? So Atlantis, sunken cities, Admiral Time Law, all that different shit. My fault. We took a change, but we were talking about virtue because that's what you so-called gods and goddesses are supposed to operate on. Virtue, which is moral excellence, right? Don't forget it, right? Don't call yourself a god or a goddess if that's not what you're trying to operate on. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect, right? But if you strive to do these things, moral strength, high character, goodness, if this is what you're striving for, then you're going to continuously operate in a way of that, right? You're going to get better and better. People say fake it till you make it, but everybody wants to fake like they're rich. Don't nobody want to fake like they're virtuous? Ooh, shout out to the moderators doing their job real quick, right? The canal, the birth canal, right? This is a channel formed by the cervix, vagina, and vulva through which a fetus passes during birth, right? Same shit goes into the birth canal, birth, right? Convenient sea room, right? To give someone wide berth, right? To bear, right? Birth, bear. All these things are connected. Bear, to carry, bring forth. You feel me? The etymology of birth confirms that our connection indeed correct. The unknown origin led us to bear. Bear literally means to bring forth, give birth, right? All this shit is connected. They've played you with these words, right? And then when this is a homophone, but dock and doctor, dock, right? A ship's berth, any structure in or upon which a ship may be held for loading, repairing. You know what I'm saying? To lead, the doctor leads you through your berth, right? Ain't that what happens? To bring or place a ship into a dock, right? Once you are born, received by the dock, you are then smacked on your behind to prove that you are living, and then weighed and measured to ensure that your manifest or document of live cargo is accurate. Your birth certificate requires fairly similar details in comparison to what a ship manifest includes. A ship manifest requires information such as a list of cargo, you, right? Can y'all see? A list of cargo, which is you, document numbers, which is the state file number, description of goods, your name and gender, consigner, which is your parents, and consignee, the state, and destination port, which is the hospital that you were born in, right? It's the same thing. This is a shipping manifest, a ship manifest, right? Once you are successfully delivered and your birth is official, your parents complete the process by allowing your footprint to be placed on documents. The footprints is an anchoring of your vessel, right? Birth to assign or allot anchoring to the ground, right? Give birth, to get you anchored somewhere, right? In a vessel, right? A vessel is a container. Your mom's vessel. That's what you were in. You were in the container. You were in her vessel. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? We find ourselves full circle, right? Right back to the canal concept. Coincidences lead us to divine truth more often than they do not, my dearest reader. Now that the birthing is all finished and you have successfully disembarked your mother's vessel, you now find yourself aboard the citizenship. You are delivered and cared for in a hospital ward, and there is no coincidence. What is a ward? A guarding, protection, watchman, sentry, keeper, right? Of a hospital division. You know what I mean? Your new guardian is now the state that you were delivered into. They are the consignee that received you. You are now lost at sea without the guardianship of your parents. Your parents then, or possibly before your birth, register you and submit baby registrations, and registrations enter you into commerce. Uh-oh, they done played you. Admiralty law. Right? Now that you are lost at sea and picked up by the state and taken aboard the citizenship, along with being registered or enrolled in the commerce, you were successfully under Admiralty maritime law. The following definitions will be from Weck's definitions team via Cornell Law School. Right? Admiralty Court. Admiralty Court, also known as Maritime Court, is a court that exercises admiralty or maritime jurisdiction and hears civil cases related to admiralty or maritime law. When you go to court, you go to civil court all the time, right? Everybody get a screenshot of this and go look into it, right? Go look into this. Screenshot this and look into it. Let me know when y'all got a screenshot. Some shit you have to look up yourself, right? Because when everything's given to you, you don't appreciate it. Did y'all get it? Y'all got it. It don't take that long. Y'all, if it was some bullshit, y'all have screenshotted it right when y'all seen it. So I ain't gonna take too long. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made or which shall be made under their authority to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, right? To all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and a citizen of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between state or the citizen thereof and the foreign states, citizens, or subjects. They played you, right? Remember, we told you that it was a homophone. Shit be sounding crazy. Docs, doctors, docs, and all that. But then when you go to court, where the accused stands in court, right? The doc. Y'all think that's a coincidence? Let me guess. Y'all think it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, right? Full circle. This is the allegory of Atlantis sinking. Though we find ourselves standing on dry land, everything that pertains to the people who conquered us has to do with the high seas. They can never truly land. They can never truly own the land that we stand on or have jurisdiction over the land so they are forced to sink the land and have us perpetually lost at sea while the land sits right below us, right? Remember, It'll never be royal. It don't run in our blood, etc., etc., etc. Right? Watch this. Because you'll be like, oh, the sea has to be the ocean. Or it could just be any great mass or large quantity of anything. Right? So the land could be the sea, a sea of reeds, a sea of mountains, a sea of highways, a sea of any large quantity of anything. A sea of people. You know what I mean? Y'all get what I'm saying? Is OG in here? Oh yeah, I wanted to show y'all something, right? So there's this powerful word that we use. Watch this. Bro, there ain't no coincidence. Do y'all believe that like our ancestors speak through us and we just some things we know and it's just like how the hell did I know that? Right? Why does that connect with me so well? Right? This so we all can agree that America is Atlantis. That shit is just too simple. Everybody knows it. Only people that love McGraw Hill and love being fucking brainwashed will be like, no, it's not. But that's because they don't know they don't know that mythology comes from somewhere true, right? So when they hear a myth, they're just like, no, it's a myth, and they think niggas really just made some shit up. But it's like ain't nothing new under the sun. They got it from somewhere, right? All right, so he also begat and brought up 5 pairs of twins, male children, da 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 da, the island of Atlantis into 10 portions, right? Dividing the island of Atlantis into 10 portions. This is Atlantis, right? So one of those portions was giving to one of those portions was given to Atanchan. Now, what do we call ourselves, everyone? Atancianists? You think that all this studying brought us back to that for no reason? I guarantee you it didn't. I guarantee you that we were brought back to this by divine right. You know what I'm saying? It was bound to lead to that. It was bound to lead us to this, right? So when you want to be the heir to the land, what do you, what are you to be the true heir? If it was divided and given to the Atanchan, along with the other kings, ain't one of the key words we need to start using Atanchanist, right? Atanchanist. It's written there. It's been written there forever. Right? This is what truly separates you from everything. This is why they keep trying to tell you you're from all over the world. They don't want you to be a Tanchan. They don't want you to be the one who sprung from the soil he inhabits, right? Literally sprung from the land itself. Because then that separates you from anybody who's traveled here. Anybody who's traveled here, right? Nobody could claim to be this thing, but the real ones. This is power. You know what I mean? I thought I had a guest, but I guess the guest left and had other things to do. You know what I mean? I set this whole live up. It's just the kind of individual I am. You know what I mean? I set this whole live up for that individual to share something that they found. You know what I'm saying? But I guess they're not here. How'd y'all like that information, though? This goes in the nation building, y'all. Because we have to uplift fallen humanity. And the way to do that is to remember that you got sank. The way you can't uplift yourself if you didn't think you fell from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And if you are gonna uplift yourself, then you have to lift yourself to your highest potential. You don't want to halfway lift yourself up, because if you halfway lift yourself up, then you're still in arm's reach of the devil. If you're a god and you're a goddess, you're supposed to be uplifting yourself out of the devil's reach. You know what I mean? You're supposed to uplift yourself and lift yourself to a level where nothing can touch you. But if you still play in the playground with the devil, then you're a devil yourself, right? Remember, y'all, virtue is moral excellence. Anybody that's really trying to heal, they be so focused on themselves, they don't have time for other shit. They don't have time to argue with people all goddamn day. They don't have time to like try to destroy other people. If I'm trying to build myself, but I'm too focused on destroying everybody else, my tools are gonna get wasted destroying other shit. Then when it's time to really build myself up, I can't. Please don't die over the neighborhood that your mama's renting. We got to get back to who we really are so we could be heirs to the land for real. Wish I could take it back to the beginning. I could have bought a place in Dumbo before it was Dumbo for like $2 million. Peace, Copper. That same building today is worth $25 million. Guess how I'm feeling? Dumbo. Light nigga, dog nigga, faux nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, po nigga, house nigga, field nigga, still nigga, still nigga. You did all this research to find out you were a god and a goddess, but you still a nigga. You still a nigga. Why? Because you don't want to be a god or a goddess. You don't want to operate with moral excellence. You don't want to operate with virtue and righteousness. You want to use your influence to keep your people in the same state of mind through entertainment. Little do you know, you've been working for the people ever since. You've been looking for the agent, and it's been you the whole time. 2 years later, that shit worth $2 million. 2 years later, that shit worth $8 million. Oh, they still arguing with each other. We call ourselves the 1%, and we still got them down there arguing with each other. Whatever they're arguing about, as long as they're doing that, then we're still winning. It's still taking advances, huh? Me and my niggas taking real chances, Y'all on the gram holding money to your ear. There's a disconnect. We don't call that money over here. Yeah. They trying to let's argue about who got here first, man or woman. Let's argue about what the roles are. Let's argue about what people wear. Let's argue about how light and dark people are. Like, are you fucking serious? We gotta get to it. We gotta get to a point where the only shit that matters is the shit that matters, and a lot of that shit don't matter, right? I wonder what kind of shit when slavery was taking place, whoever was a slave, I wonder what kind of shit they argued about. When a war is taking place, I wonder what kind of shit they be arguing about while the battle's happening. While the battle's actually happening, what are they arguing about? Are bullets flying over their head and they're arguing about who should be in the kitchen and who should be at work? Are they arguing about who came first, man or woman? Or are they just worried about them bullets flying and how to locate the enemy? Y'all know there's a war going on. Y'all know there's a war going on right now. A lot of y'all might have forgot. Now, you know what? Whose bias do y'all see? Sheesh. All right, we're going to play some real shit. We're going to play some real shit because there might be parasites in here. You know, when we take our time, they kind of leave. I don't want big crowds. I'm not here for no big crowd of people. I'm here for the select few that want to really do something. Check them out to radiation in the rain. Biochemical nuke, gas mask and rubber boot. Inhale your last gas without a hazmat suit. Terrible, unbearable, miracle of the modern scientific. Arms race chase for the horrific. Manhattan Project, man canceling concept. Catastrophic drama, fabric shattering context. A little boy falling from a metal bird, followed by a fat man who left behind a level earth. Imbalance challenge to survival of the whole piece. Half seek to staff the whole planet with their own peeps. A zone beeps of contaminated contents, atomically activated, saturated beyond its limits. This is Lupe Fiasco, Atomic Mist Philosophy. I don't feel like there's anything for me. I hope they put this out. Cause in the future shop there where everything's story, I don't feel like there's anything for me. I hope they figure out this atomic philosophy. Uninhabitable avenues, third wards and southern latitudes, mutually assured that I'm gonna let OG American up here so he could do his presentation. I want y'all to remember everything that we talked about when he does his presentation. All right. How's everybody doing? What are we reconnecting with? I just want to make sure I got my people up in here. You know what I'm saying? I hope it ain't a bunch of strangers. What are we reconnecting with, everybody? What do we have in common with the infinite? But this was coming from the same people who thought that Jim Crow was all right then. Same thing that kept Colonel Tibbetts on his flight plan. Just shot there with everything story. I don't feel like there's anything for me. I hope they put this out. It's atomic, this philosophy. If you just shot there with everything story. I don't feel like there's anything for me. I hope they figure out. I promise you, the African that lives in Ghana with their shoes off or whatever you think they're doing, that's arguing with you on a panel for 10 hours, cannot free you. They cannot help you get free. I promise you that. Knowing due to man's fatalism, it probably you'll never leave a disease trying to cure its own symptoms with disease, creating an epidemic just to see if it can be genuine mistrust of everything but us, based on artificial evidence, but mostly racist at the crux. Let's pray they throw them all out. And I hope I don't see it through the fog. You feel the vision in the fallout. Just shot there and everything's story. I don't feel like there's anything for me. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Oh yeah, it's my honor. I love my people. You know what I'm saying? For real. I got children, and I don't want them to have to deal with the same shit we're dealing with in any form or fashion. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be able to build on what we already know and be able to move forward. But the only way they could build on what we know and move forward is if we stop getting stuck in these goddamn cycles, right? If we stop getting stuck in the cycles. All right. So when you deal with a judge, or when you get arrested by the police, you deal with a judge, right? Excuse me. You deal with a judge. A judge is a war leader. What's the name of the? Oh, hold on. I got it from the. This is the name of the book. TikTok Shop. All right. Somebody's been lying. Words are spells and curses. Right. And TikTok Shop really means. Okay. That's what TikTok Shop means. All right. Thank you, Ann Joe. Okay. Now look. What is a judge? Right. That's what a judge is. Okay. So when the Africans get up on a panel, when the Native Americans get up on a panel, or whoever you don't like gets on a panel and y'all argue, what is that called? What do y'all like to call it? When the Pan Africans and you want to prove your point, what do you call what is that classified as? Oh, now this is a powerful word, right? Now, to combat, fight, to make war. That's what a debate is, right? Y'all see that? Okay. Now remember, this is the Declaration of Independence, right? This is why they came over here and did all the shit they did, right? Right? Talking about the king. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has effected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power, right? Ain't that what's happening right now in our world? Has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, given his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. What the? Watch this. Man, I really hope y'all, I'm trying not to lose faith, y'all. And I'm trying, man. Because I feel like I'm breaking this shit down, right? I feel like I'm really trying to show folks what is happening. Right? Look, what does it say? Pretended. Y'all see that? Pretended. What is pretended? Color of law. Color of law refers to the appearance of legal authority or an apparently legal right that may not exist. Doesn't that sound like pretend? Don't that sound like pretend? That's what we're dealing with, though, right? Because y'all want to be colors, white and black. Motherfuckers want to argue about white. Come on, man. Look, let's make this shit real. People want to argue about black and white and all that weird ass shit. An appearance, semblance, or simulacrum as distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie or apparent right. Hence, a deceptive appearance, a plausible, assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality, a disguise or a pretext. Don't that sound like pretend? Don't that sound like pretend? You motherfuckers arguing about black and white and all that weird ass shit, but everybody's playing pretend. Nigga, do you have a soul or not? That's what I want to know. I don't give a fuck about all that other shit. Yo, I could tell if you got a soul. I could tell if you don't. If it was only niggas with souls, right? We wouldn't be killing each other. If only niggas had souls, right? I was on CEO's live yesterday or the day before, maybe yesterday, talking about this preacher that be messing with little children and all that shit. If only niggas had souls, we wouldn't be able to even have these conversations. You know what I mean? We gotta wake up, y'all. He's playing color games. Playing color games and there's a war going on. A war, right? It's the soulless versus those with souls, right? And that's all that the fuck it is, right? And the reason why you don't get it is because the people that are soulless are these kind of people, parasites, hanger on, a toady, a person who lives on others, right? One who lives at another's expense. You don't think that these motherfuckers at the top are living at our expense? Living at our expense, and we're down here arguing about colors. We're down here arguing about, and then the colors aren't even real. This ain't black. This is black. This is black. If this was black, this okay, okay, okay. Okay. Let's not let's not do that, right? Let's not do that. We got to talk about goddamn crayon colors. What do they say when you go to court and the judge comes out? What does the bailiff say to you? When you go to court and the judge walks out, what does the bailiff say to everybody in there? Anybody know? Where do you think you rising from? Yeah, yeah. Supreme frequency 77. Nicole. Where do y'all think we rising from? The goddamn dead, right? You people want to play color games. And I'm telling you, black and white are the same thing. I promise you. Black and white are the same thing, right? To be the complete opposites, they have to meet at one point and be the same thing. They both spawn from each other, right? Can we start thinking for real, for real? Right? If you go look up black and you go back in time, you'll see that black was once white. Black was once pale. They're the same thing. They're both nationless people, stateless people, citizens, wards that live in America under colors, which is pretend, playing games, playing pretend, and getting conquered, right? What is a necromancer, right? Sorcery, witchcraft, black magic, properly divination by communication with the dead. What does it lead to? Niger. What is Niger? Black. Right. Let's go back then. Oh shit, this is getting deep. It comes from necros. What does necros mean? So the judge is a necromancer. You go in there, he deals with your little dead body, right? That's why he says all rise, right? Because he's trying to get to your spirit and your soul. That's why you need an attorney, right? Because what is an attorney? Did y'all know attorney comes from the word attorn? Right? You got attorney. It comes from the word attorn, right? What does a turn mean? A turn means to turn over to another. You got to turn yourself over to this other person because you're not living. You got to give them your soul, right? But what I'm saying is, right? There's a war going on for your soul, right? Whether you believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, there's war. There's a war going on for your soul. It is. There's some of us down here with a soul. There's some of us without a soul, and that's what the real war is about. Those with souls and those without souls, right? And with this war going on, you choose to debate with other people with souls. Right? You choose to go to war with other people that have souls, right? Because you have no self control, right? You're emotionally imbalanced. So instead of fighting your real enemy, you've been hurt for so long, you got to fight people that you can reach. And the only people you can reach in your mind are the other people in your situation. And that's because they're right there with you. This is the reason why it's so easy to talk to them and reach them because they're in the same position as you. They're not above you, they're not below you. They're in the same position as you. And that's why it's so easy to deal with them and talk to them and belittle them, right? And compare your struggles with each other. Y'all argue about your same struggles. Oh, you're poor. No, you're poor. Y'all hurt each other. No, y'all hurt each other. You eat this. No, y'all eat this. You do this. No, y'all do that. While the people above you are eating you. Oh shit. Oh my god. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They're eating you. You know how many children go missing a year? 500,000 plus children go missing a year. And you're on the internet arguing about the way somebody's shoes look, about the way somebody's house looks, about the way somebody's hair looks. 500,000 children go missing a year. And you telling me you did magic to try to get your girlfriend back or your boyfriend back. Shit was crazy. You want to get a goddamn tarot reading to see if your boyfriend and girlfriend still love you. Nigga, get a tarot reading to find out where these children are. There's a war going on for your soul. And you'd rather go to war with other people with souls than the people without one. And that's why you'll never be free. Because you're fighting the other people that want to be free. How can you be free if you're fighting the other people that need to be free and want to be free? Because they tricked you into playing pretend. They tricked you into playing pretend and made you forget who you were. They turned you into beasts of the field and got you fighting each other while they hunt you. They put you out into the wilderness as beasts of the field. And while y'all fight each other, they hunt you down. And 500,000 of your children go missing a year. You know, your kids, right? Your kids go missing. You call them kids. Your little baby goats, right? They turned you into the beast of the field. You call your children goats. 500,000 of them go missing a year to get sacrificed. Right? And the only reason you won't wake up is because you love to be entertained. Right? You love to be kept in this in the same state of mind. Right? You love entertainment, which is a goddamn spell. Right? Y'all think this shit is a goddamn game. Right? This shit ain't funny, y'all. This shit ain't funny at all. Like somebody's got to get tired of it. You know what I mean? Not anymore. Yeah.
That was a great presentation.
I appreciate it, man.
It's so like you break it down to where anybody could really understand it.
Slim, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it easy. And I think the reason why people are scared is because once you do enough research, you realize, oh shit, it is easy. The only thing that we have to do is come together and recognize what's happening and do something about it. Oops, that's it. You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
petition and a vote ain't gonna help because a petition means vowing to a deity, praying to a deity. Same as a vote, which is a vow, binding yourself to the devil. I'm gonna play this song and then I'm gonna let you cook. If I ever leave you, baby, you can say I told you so. And don't worry, man. If people leave, it is what it is. I do these things on purpose because I want people to leave. I don't want demons around me. I don't want parasites around me. So I take my time and let the fucking parasites and demons just go on their merry way because they're impatient. They want something to eat off of. They need to feed off of some shit. So if they don't see the energy being put out that they can eat off here, they're gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? And then when they get the fuck on, we get back to cooking. You know what I mean? This shit ain't for everybody. It definitely ain't for no goddamn parasites. It's time for niggas to wake the fuck up. This is how we need to feel. We need to love each other more than we'll ever know. When I wasn't making much money, you know where my paycheck went. You know I brought it home to you, baby. And I never
been a red sin. Hey, is that any way for a man to carry on? Do you think I want my love alone? Said I love you. More than you'll ever know.
This is Donny Hathaway. I love you more than you'll ever know.
More than you'll ever know. Now listen to this. I'm not trying to be just any kind of man. No, I ain't. I'm just trying to be somebody you can love, trust, and understand. I know that a part of you that no one else can see, yeah. But I got to hear you say, I got to hear you say, it's alright.
Woo! Damn.
I'm only flesh and blood.
Shit. Yo, everybody put nature in the comments, yo. Put nature. Let's always stay in tune with the infinite and what we reconnecting with. Remember, that's what we got in common with the infinite, nature. You know what I'm saying? We got to reconnect with nature. When you reconnect with nature, you reconnect with the natural order of things. The natural order of things is not chaos. It's love, abundance, marriage, divinity, virtue, and righteousness.
That I want my love alone. I love you more than you'll ever know. I said I love you. I love you. I love you.
Hell yeah, that was amazing. That's how we do shit. All right, I'm gonna let OG present his information. Y'all remember what we talked about, and what he has is gonna go into what we spoke about. It's a great find. You ready, man? I guess he got a phone call.
I'm here. I'm just screenshotting some stuff just so it could be in order. Give me like 30 more seconds. I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, no problem. Take your time.
What's y'all doing?
I don't know. My children are up, so perfect timing. How's everybody feeling? I hope y'all feeling great. I hope y'all feeling good. I know y'all like the information. I've created an environment here where if you don't like information, you don't stay. I break it down real slow. I take my goddamn time. We about to learn some words. While he's doing that, you know, anybody that's new, we got a vocabulary list, and here it goes, just so you can, you know, take a screenshot of the vocabulary list. You know, break it down like a swisher. You know what I'm saying? roll up something good. We also growing food. Everybody put a 1 in the comments if you've already planted something. I see you requesting up, but I'm gonna let OG present his information. I hope y'all got a screenshot. We also planting our food. You know what I'm saying? We got our seedlings started. You know, we already got some growth happening.
Dang.
We ain't fucking
I'm going
around.
to get mine started.
Hell yeah, let me. I don't want them to see that because then I think they'd be flagging me for showing that.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna put you on a big screen and then I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Okay. So yeah, basically I just been studying Atlantis lately, and I'm gonna start with this. So this is a map from 1752. As you can see, it says Atlantis Insula, but I found this other map that's a lot more detailed, right? I'm gonna show y'all North America first. So as y'all can see, it has the names of each of the 10 kings of Atlantis and their region on this map. So you see where Virginia and all that is, that allegedly belonged to Gadiris. The pink belonged to Atlas, right? So give me 1 second. Let me go back because I want to read y'all this. So this is what was on the map. I translated from Latin to English. It says the island of Atlantis by Niccolo Sanson, restored to antiquity, now finally delineated in a greater form and distributed into 10 kingdoms according to the 10 sons of Neptune. Besides the island, the regions of our continent, which the Atlantic king ruled, or which they tried with arms from the geographical contracts of William Sanson, Nicholas Son. So let me go to him real quick, just so people know who he is. Hold on. Right here. Okay. Nicholas Sanson was born 1600 in Abbeville, and he was a French historian and cartographer. So just ask yourself, what was he studying to depict America as Atlantis? And then, I'm sure that most of y'all have heard the word autochthonous. And really, what the reason I was able to even like piece out stuff in this map is because of Rashaud, because he talked about how Auton, down there in the on the right side, that's one of the kings of Atlantis. So if he wouldn't have told me that, I wouldn't have known that to be from the beginning. All right, but yeah, so let's start getting into it, right? So Gadiris is a figure from Plato's Critias dialogue described as one of the 10 kings of Atlantis and the son of Poseidon and Cleto, right? All right, so let's keep going. Dang. Rashad, could you like redo the thing like a different way? Maybe like make it to where it's like 8 boxes or something. Or if there's a mod in here, could y'all reorganize the panel so I can see? That way I ain't gotta keep going back and okay. To do it to where it's like 8 people, like 8 boxes. Y'all know like the regular small square boxes? If you can. If you can't, then I'll just go and resize it. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so it's a okay, so we're just gonna go to the first paragraph. And he gave to each of his sons, to the son who was oldest and king, he gave the name which the entire island and its surrounding sea derived their names, because he was the first of the kings and of that time. His name was Atlas. The island is called Atlantis, and the sea Atlantic after him, right? To the twin born after him, he who had received as his portion the cape of the island facing the Pillars of Hercules, opposite what is now called the territory of Gadara. And I just showed y'all where Gadara was, right? Or Gadiris. Hold on, my bad. I done lost where I just. Oh, okay. Territory of Gadir after this region. He gave his name that translate into Greek as Eumulos, but in the language of Atlantis, it is Gadiris. It would seem that he gave his name to the region of Cadiz. So we remember that word Cadiz because we're gonna talk about that, right? So it says the two brothers of the second set of twins he called Amphorus and the Uamon, I think. To the third set, he gave the name Monesis, to the and don't, you know what I'm saying, I'm butchering this, but just bear with me. To the firstborn and Auton to the secondborn of the fourth set Elasapis in the firstborn Mester, the second for the fifth set he gave the name Azaz, we're gonna say Azaz to the firstborn, and the name Diaprepus, I think, to the second. Now all of these sons inhabited the island, um as did their sons and the descendants for over many generations. They were the rulers of many other islands in the Atlantic. And as I said, they have extended their rule into the Mediterranean as near to us as Eritrea and Egypt. So this is saying that the Atlanteans went to Eritrea and Egypt also, right? Well, we're gonna go back real quick because you see it says that they ruled many other islands in the Atlantic. So on this map right here, as you can see, you see, and I got it circled in white. You see where it's pink, where Florida and stuff is, right? And then it's yellow, and that's Atlas. That's the land of Atlas. And then where it's yellow, where New York and Virginia and all that is, that's the land of Gadaris. But you see that over on the right side, it has pink and yellow as well. So yeah, that like the Atlanteans even left here and they went to Europe and built up Europe. That's why you find things that people would say like, oh, it's like American Indian stuff, and or you know, statues and stuff like that over in Europe, because they left from here and was ruling over there, because you know they was ruling all of the most of the land that was inside of the Atlantic Ocean. All right, so let's keep going. The race of Atlas increased greatly and became greatly honored, and they maintained their kingdom through many generations. That the oldest king would hand his kingship to his oldest sons. They amassed more wealth than had ever been amassed before in the rule of any previous kings, or could easily be amassed after them. And they provided for everything that was needed, both in the city and the rest of the island, for their empire brought them many imports from outside. In the island itself provided most of what was needed for their livelihood. First, there were the mines they produced that produced both hard and fusible ore. In many regions of the island, they exploited that metal, which is now only a name to us, but which was then more than a name. And it says Calcos. But look, so I want to show you about this metal. So it says Orate Calcos, and again I'm butchering it, but it says is a legendary precious metal mentioned in ancient Greek texts, most famous by Plato as the primary resource of Atlantis, meaning mountain copper. So this whole like copper colored thing that they've been saying, this stuff is even deeper than, you know what I'm saying? It go way back to Atlantis. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've been with the copper. So let's keep going. It says, in that age, it was valued only less than gold, and the island provided.
Let me not cut you off, but
Nope, you good. You good.
so I don't know. Are you at your house?
Yes.
I know you got my book, Slim.
Yes.
I was just saying, Slim, if you turn it, because you know, do your presentation. But one thing that we're doing is we're trying to change the education system, right? By being our own sources, right? So you can use
Okay.
this source, but you can also use my book because I have this whole thing in there, right?
Okay.
For the most part. But I also have the breakdown of Ori Chokum, right? We kind of went over it before you got here. But if you go to page 229, you'll see that I break that shit down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if you want to do this presentation anywhere else, you can add to the copper thing, because I break down how, you know, the world, based on the World Economic Forum, you know, South America having the providing the world's most copper. You feel me? Then I have
Right.
I have an image on page 231. You know what I mean? And then
Okay.
on,
Okay. Yeah. I can add it to it. Add
I'm
it
just,
to what I'm reading now. Once I'm done reading it, I'll pull it up and read it.
and then on that one map that you're showing, where you
Mhm.
talk about like
I'll go back
how in
to it.
those, how you talk about in those different color codes,
Yep.
right? So within those color codes, I also, on page 223, I talk about how, right? So Perseus uses Medusa's head to turn Atlas into stone, right? The misconception with this story is that Atlas was turned into the Atlas Mountains found in northern Africa, but in fact, Atlas was turned into the Appalachian Mountains found in North America.
Okay, exactly.
And the Appalachian Mountains is within that area you got circled.
Exactly. Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna go to. Hold on. Okay, well, the next stuff that I'm about to start getting to, you might know this, but you might not. So let me read this, and then I'm gonna get to it. So it says, in the beginning of Timaeus, Socrates, Cretius, um Timachus, I think, and Hermocrates agreed to an exchange of speeches for the Okay, hold on, because that's not even the part that I want to read. Let's go down. Let's go down. Okay, so it says he will tell the tale of ancient Athens' war with the inhabitants of Atlantis, an island then located in the Atlantic Ocean near the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea. Under their kings, the technologically advanced Atlantids had conquered Europe as far as Italy and Africa up to the border of Egypt, and it fell to the freedom-loving, well-governed Athenians to defeat these interlopes and save the Mediterranean peoples from outside domination. At the successful conclusion of the war, Atlantis itself was destroyed. Okay, no, we already know that's not true, but hold on. Okay, yeah, I already read the part. So it says that they was in Italy as well, right? So watch this. Hold on. So right here at the bottom, right, it says the ancient city of Gades in the southwestern Iberian Peninsula, um, today known as Cadiz, was founded by Phoenicians around 1100 BC and was called by them Agadir, Gadiris or Gadiris. And mind you, remember how I showed y'all that was this region right here in the yellow, right? So you see New York would also be in that region, right? So why did I find that there's actually a mountain region in New York that's named Phoenicia? So I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. Let me see. And there's also a city in Morocco called Agadir. Okay, hold on. And then let's see. And then I also found this article right here that says ancient America supposed to have been Atlantis, a powerful empire. So I started reading this article, and it had a couple of gypsy, but I ain't gonna lie, this joint is long, so I'm not gonna read that. And then okay, so right here, right? It says Anthropological Institute. A paper by the late J.W. Jackson was read on the Atlantean race of Western Europe. The chief aim of the author was to convert the largely accepted opinion that the dark Atlantean race was of Turanian origin. So, mind you, I just read in that other source that they inhabited, like they left here and went to Europe all the way up until Italy, right? So they thought the Atlanteans in Western Europe was from Italy or Turania, but whole time they really from America. So, and then the last thing, Rashad, let me know what you think about this, because I was thinking about like the words mountain, right, and maintain, and how they're similar. And I'm like, I wonder, do they be naming mountain regions? You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier to maintain, you know what I'm saying, the names and stuff like that. So what I find interesting is when you trace the words back, right, both of them go back to the word man. Hold on. Yeah, men or man, to think, mind, spiritual activity, or to stay. And then yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now, Rashad. Because the other stuff you done already hipped me to that, but I appreciate it too for you letting me come up.
Oh hell no, man, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah. Well, I didn't show this either. Hold on. Yeah, right here. Oh no, wrong one. Hold on. Okay, but yeah, Cadiz is an ancient port city in the Andalusia region of southwestern Spain. So yeah, right here it says that it was founded by the Phoenicians over 3,000 years ago. But remember, it was originally called Gadir or Gadiris, and I'm like, yeah, that had to have been the Phoenicians that came from here, that came from Atlantis, that was in the region of Gadiris, because why else would there be a mountain range in New York called Phoenicia?
Damn. So that's deep. You know,
Yep.
the Phoenicians founded Carthage, right?
Mm-hmm.
My fault. My children are up, but
Yeah, you good. You good. We good.
right. So watch this. Let me see. Let me see if I'm gonna read this and just tell me if it goes with what you're saying. Hold
Okay.
on. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me switch myself.
Okay. Rashaud, you're muted. You muted. Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. Yeah, yeah. I remember, I remember. Okay. You want me to read the whole thing, right?
Oh no, I'm gonna read it. Just give me a second. Hold on. All right, so boom, America, known to the mystics as Atlantis, right? When this ruin befell, was the seat of the greatest empire that ever existed, and its irresistible armies were terrorizing all Europe and Asia, right? Those are the places that you said that they had made it to, right? Europe. You talked about
Yep.
Italy,
Yep.
right? This takes us back to the etymology of discover, right? Betray a secret, doom. Beyond the Herculean pillars, certain Carthaginian merchants, which would be Phoenicians, right? Because Phoenicians founded Carthage, penetrated the Atlantic Ocean so far that at last they found a vast yet uninhabited island producing nothing but herbage, plants, and wild beasts, right? Which is America, right? Beyond the Herculean pillars. This is the Straits of Gibraltar, which is between Europe and Africa, right? This continent they landed found in soil so fertile and air so temperate that there they settled and were the first planters, right? So but the Carthaginians, having intelligence thereof, prohibited all persons whatsoever upon pain of death to go thither, fearing the place being so much commended, all the people would be ready to flock thither and desert their own, and so utterly unfurnish and debilitate their own growing commonwealth, right? So they're saying that these Phoenicians you're talking about knew that America was so great that if they told the world about it, everybody would leave their home to come here. Ain't that what's happening right now?
Absolutely.
Right? You know, but then they say, how could the Carthaginians find America without the compass? The compass was created in America, which goes to show the original inhabitants of America traveled the world before the world traveled here, right? Because the compass was invented in here in America, right? So that means we traveled the world before the world traveled here, right? You know what I mean? Now watch this. Let me see. What was that?
Thank you, Native.
All right, so watch this. Sorry, my computer's been acting kind of slow lately. Maybe I should put it a different way. This is Carthago. This is Carthago in South America, right? But Carthago is Carthage, that the Phoenicians founded. So did the Phoenicians come from over there, right? Or did the Phoenicians come from South America?
Mm.
And did they travel there and not tell the secrets about America, because they knew that if they told, when they found the people that they found, and they found the land in the condition and the people in the conditions that they found it, right? They knew that, oh, damn, if we tell these people about where we came from, they're definitely going to leave this land and come to where we are and try to destroy it. Because if you go to Europe and you think about the different times and the different shit that was happening there, it was all a bunch of death and destruction and wars, right? When they talk about all the death and destruction and wars, they're talking about Europe. So why would you tell those people about America?
Exactly.
Right? Look at all these ancient buildings in Carthago and Carthage, right? But this is America.
Look at that one on the left. Give me cold chills.
You know what I mean? Because somebody's been lying.
A few somebodies.
You feel me? They've been lying, man. All this shit happened here. The Phoenicians were here, right? And the thing about the Phoenicians is the Phoenicians were the ones that traveled the seas. They were seafarers. They mastered the oceans. So it makes sense, right?
Yep. Yeah, I got like this occult book, and it talks about how like the secret societies basically was gonna come here and like basically do like an Atlantis 2.0. Like basically take our stuff and revamp it. And that's all they did.
That's all they could do.
Yeah, we just living in an upside down world. Every day's an opposite day living here.
Exactly. Let me see if I can find something. Yeah.
Hey Rashad, look, this is kind of random, but I want to tell you, right? So, long story short, right? My uncle, he passed away in December, right? And he like was drinking a lot or whatever, right? And like my sisters had asked him one day why he drinks so much, and he said, I don't know, it like takes him to like another place, like, and he said he remembers like his like our family, our other family members that passed away, right? And recently I had a dream about him, right? And like in the dream, like I kept trying to get closer to him, but it was like every time I kept trying to get closer to him, he kept getting further and further away from me. So my sister, I was talking to her, right? And she left-handed, right? So she was like, you know what I think it was? I think that was him basically saying, like, I don't want to come back. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, yeah, this world is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy as shit. This world is crazy. People don't lost their
Well,
goddamn mind.
excuse me, the people that's living inside of the world is crazy.
Ah, there we go. That's even better.
Yeah, because I dislike when people say, what like what has America done for y'all? Like America ain't never done nothing but treated y'all badly, and I'm like, bruh, the land and the trees and the animals, they didn't do nothing to us. It's people.
Exactly. It's not America doing us wrong. It's the people that nobody wants to fight. Watch this. This goes into more of what you were saying. Watch. My background's kind of loud now, right? On the Phoenician crafts, the ocean beats, who through the Red Sea sailing changed their seats. They were the first to venture through the seas and freighted ships with richer merchandise, fair or foul weather. They, without control, sought foreign trade directed by the pole, right? So they learn how to travel, right, on the seas. You feel me? Through the Red Sea sailing, change your seat, right? This is the Red Sea. This is California. Through the Red Sea sailing, changed their seats, and then they made it into South America and established Carthage or Carthago that we just looked at, right? You feel me? No?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. This shit's been right in front of our face this whole goddamn time.
Exactly. Look, I'm gonna read something from this book that I have too. It's called. Hold on, I can put it on the big screen so people can see it. Yeah, it's called New World Order: The Ancient Plan of Secret Societies. Right. So listen to this. It say the Great Atlantean Plan. Um, Destiny and the mysteries must win, for they are on the side of the great plan. So it's according to Masonic sources, the most important mystery of secret societies is an ancient plan. And look, it's gonna say,
You
my bad,
muted.
somebody started calling me. But it's gonna say something that I've only heard you talk about. So it says, according to Masonic sources, the most important mystery of secret societies is an ancient plan passed down for thousands of years by oral tradition for the establishment of world government, a universal democracy, a new Atlantis. In the early 1600s, this plan for a new world order was in the keeping of Masons in the greatest commonwealth the world has ever known, the British Empire. English Masons believed that North America was the continent from which their new Atlantis would spring. Most people believe that the legend of Atlantis is only a myth, yet the similarities between the account of the destruction of Atlantis and the biblical account of the flood of Noah are really quite remarkable. They appear to be the same event. The difference may be just one perspective. From the advantage point of secret societies, the destruction of Atlantis was a tragedy. Manly Hall claimed that the Atlantean legend is central to the universal philosophy of all secret societies. He describes Masonry as a university teaching the liberal arts and sciences of the soul. It is a shadow of the great Atlantean mystery school, which stood with all its splendor in the ancient city of the golden, right here. It stood with all its splendor in the ancient city of the Golden Gates. And I've only ever heard you talk about that.
Hell yeah, let's talk about it right now.
Okay, let me see. Let me see. Da, 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 da. I feel like it was one other part I wanted to read, but I don't know. Maybe.
Me. How about me?
Oh, okay. Right here. So, because this is what you talked about as well. According to this account, at its peak, some. Hold on. So. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start right here. Salam was told that the columns were placed there thousands of years earlier by lost people who had vanished forever. He was told that the mysterious inscriptions on the columns were the laws of the Atlantean ancients left there to steer mankind until the appointed time for the Atlantean civilization to flourish once again. And we coming, we coming. According to this account, at its peak, some 10,000 years before the Greek civilization, Atlantis was ruled in complete harmony by a cooperative commonwealth of 10 kings known as the Atlantic League, excuse me. 7 of these kings ruled over the 7 islands that actually made up what was called the continent of Atlantis. The other 3 kings of the Atlantean kingdom ruled over the other three known continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. One day, the seven kings of Atlantis decided to conquer the other three continents. They invaded Greece and all of Europe about 10,000 BC. This overt transgression of Atlantean law enraged the father of all the gods in a single evening. Zeus caused the entire island of Atlantis, with some 60 million inhabitants, to sink beneath the waves, allegedly. But yeah, okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to read. But yeah, they've been conquering shit, or we been. This shit ain't nothing new.
That goes into the shit that I was talking about when I was talking about righteousness and virtue, and when we lost our righteousness and virtue for worldly things, we became debased. Conquering people and taking their land is not righteous. Making slaves out of people is not righteous. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, in our argument to prove that we're gods and goddesses, we'll talk about, oh, the first slave was the Slav, which is true, but it doesn't make you righteous. It just means that you were the first to be unrighteous.
Mm. And listen to this part, because didn't you talk about the Commonwealth earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. It's today the elite of secret societies are still taught that bringing forth a new cooperative commonwealth of mankind, a new Atlantic League is the natural and proper form of human government and the highest calling to which a person can dedicate himself. Christians well versed in the Bible believe that this so-called commonwealth of mankind is in reality the dictatorship of the Antichrist predicted in the Bible's book of Revelation. In fact, there is a startling similarity between the Atlantean myth and biblical prophecy.
All right, watch this. My background might be a little loud, y'all, but
No, you're good. I keep telling you good, man. Like, so that's the last time you say something about that.
all right, my fault. I guess it just feels a kind of way for me because it's louder over here maybe than it is for y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so look, so we did talk about Manly P. Hall, right? Because I'd be everywhere.
Yep.
Right. So the city of the Golden Gates, the capital of Atlantis, right? All right. So this is for everybody that be in my lives all the time, right? Rises out of the four elements of the body, right? We all know about the four elements of the body, right? That's some shit that we've covered. This sacred mountain, upon whose summit stood the temple of the gods, gave rise to the story of Olympians, Meru, Asgard, the city of the Golden Gates, the capital of Atlantis, is the one now preserved among numerous religions as the city of the gods, or the holy city. Here is the archetype of New Jerusalem, with the streets paved with gold and the 12 gates shining, right, with precious stones. My dear reader, the truth is sublime and always right here within our grasp. Okay. And then, after that, I break down Louisville. Now, this is interesting too, right? Right. So the University of Louisville, right, is the Delphi Center, right? And Delphi is where the Oracle of Gaia is, right? So the Oracle of that is in Delphi, right? Let me see. Let's take our time. Don't make me rush, y'all. Let me see. Right? Okay. Let me see. Right? Oracle at Delphi. Right? Right? Was originally ruled by Gaia, named Chrysa, and protected by her son. Her son is the Naga serpent, right? Her son is a serpent. It's a dragon that protected the Oracle at Delphi. And then once we start to get into this information, right? The University of Louisville Delphi Center. I'm like, well, that's interesting. But either way, right? The ability to critically think calls for a higher order of thinking, right? So we're talking about that, right? So let us return to the topic at hand. Manly P. Hall mentioned the city of the Golden Gates, the city of the gods, and also the holy city And all of those are concrete evidences to point to what America truly is. This is the opportunity to join me in critical thinking. Critical thinking allows us to immediately connect the facts. If I wish to reach the city of the Golden Gates, I would most likely find myself passing over a Golden Gate bridge. This divine truth leads us to the city of the gods, and knowing the true story of America, Atlantis, and how gods fell from divinity here, they became debased. Remember? You can relate this to the fallen angels. Fallen angels, or better known as the city of the angels, Los Angeles, right? Where the stars are stuck in the ground, bound. This evidence city represents the fallen angels would be the Walk of Fame. Here is where you can find stars that have fallen so hard, or so far and so hard from the heavens that they have become cemented within the concrete to be trodden under the foot of man. These fallen stars or angels find themselves on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Hollywood directly connecting to the Divine Mother, as we shall see the divine truth hidden within, right? So you got Hollywood, which is connected to the holly tree, which is the evergreen that you motherfuckers chop down and put in your house, but it represents the Divine Mother Goddess, right? So you cut down the holly tree, the evergreen, you put it in your house, you decorate it like a prostitute, and then you put gifts under her skirt, right? That's what you do for Christmas, but the Bible told you not to. We spoke before of the significance of the pine tree, aka the evergreen, but we shall add more details to drive our point home. The new rulers of the world have found every possible way to celebrate the destruction of the original woman's glory, right? These different mysteries all told Rashaud, put them on the paw fruit. Huh? What did that have to, you know what I'm saying? But these different mystery schools talked about how the pine tree, the evergreen tree, represents the Divine Mother, right? And cut into the tree would be the child. You know what I mean? So it's mother and child. But instead of realizing that shit, you chop it down and dress it up like a prostitute, like the whore of Babylon, and you parade around it and put gifts under her skirt. You know what I mean? Right? Because you don't love nature. So you chop down trees and call it a celebration.
Right. And then can I say
That's why
something?
when you get spiritual, the first thing you want to do is go out and hug a tree, because you're trying to reconnect with that Divine Mother energy. So you go out and hug trees because trees are that thing. You feel me? And that's why you get spiritual and be like, I need to hug a tree. The reason you need to hug a tree is because you've been prostituting nature for so long that you just want to say you're sorry. So the next time you hug a tree, you should just be like, I apologize for what I've done. Forgive us, for we know not what we do. Right? Makes sense? But this is all. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Hey, look, y'all, my Atlantis chapter is one of the I think that's like the longest chapter in my book. Let me see. Because everybody was talking about Atlantis, and I was like, yo, I'm about to break this shit down for real. You know what I'm saying? Atlantis is 40 pages. 40 pages that I break this shit down. So no offense to you, because you've found some amazing information to add to this, but I just want you to know, my brother, I wrote this book hoping that we would have a way to be our own references. So next time you do it, you feel me? Or you choke.
Oh, okay, yeah, I totally get that. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So instead of reading from these other niggas shit, you could be like, yo. But the thing is,
this is what I gathered.
Yeah, but remember, one of the things that you gathered, it was from Critias, right? You remember that, right?
Yes.
So that means your source, if somebody questions your source, I use your source to further explain my source. So it's double source. You feel me? So they can't prove it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you could be like, I did this. And then when they want to be like, well, nigga, prove it with something older. You could be like, well, then you could pull out Critias that's saying the things I say, but instead of it being a myth and an allegory, I was like, what is orichalcum? So I did the research. And then I was like, oh shit, orichalcum has been said to be either pure copper or certain brass and bronze alloys, right? And where's orichalcum found? Where's this copper? According to the World Economic Forum, South America, specifically Chile, produces the world's most copper, right? And then I was like, well, let's, add an image because some people like to see some shit.
Right.
Right? That's orichalcum, America. And if we sprung from the land like autochthonous people, we would be copper colored just like the minerals.
Exactly.
Hey, look, I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I did this thing. You feel me? I was out here. You dig? I love this shit. Use Rashaud Poet as a goddamn source. That's what if we can't change the world unless we start using each other as sources. I didn't write a book for niggas to read it and put it on a bookshelf. I wrote a book so we don't have to keep using other niggas' sources. And they could be like, yo, who wrote it? A nigga wrote it. Now what? Now what you got to say? Because, the first thing they're going to say is, I bet you that's a white man's source. No, nigga. I got this from my homeboy down the street. My nigga down the street wrote this motherfucker. Because me and OG live close. We like 20 minutes away.
I hear you. My fault, player.
Does that make sense, y'all? We could argue all day, or we could argue, or we could do shit like this, y'all. This is the kind of shit we should be doing, right? Let's build. Let's do some shit. Let's make it happen. You feel me? And then when niggas be like, all you're doing is talking about information. We all do that, yeah, but we also plant shit. We also grow gardens. We also share seeds. You know what I'm saying? We also teach each other how to be self-sustaining so we could be sovereign, right? We're putting in the work that actually needs to be put in. Shout out to everybody in the comments that's growing their own food, right? We grow food, we build, we talk about sovereignty, we talk about nation building, because that's what this shit is really about. This my nation building anthem. I don't know which. Hey, look, one day I was listening to this song and I was like, yo, this is a goddamn nation building anthem. You just got to listen to it the right way. Like that, yeah. Come on, bring the chorus in. I do anything for y'all. I do a bid, lose a red, busting, trusting that. Run up the heaven doors, exchange my life for yours. Leave a stake out the door, Mikasa, Sukasa. Just remember to turn the lights off in the hall. My brother crump another pop. Minus one shot, we need it with G money, man. We all we got. From the stoop to the big dude, stopping us from playing hoops. And us getting mad, throwing rocks off the road straight. Thugging, man, thought we would never progress. But look at us now, man, we young execs. My name, my big, my time, my high, my Gotti, we your body, all is right with the world. No matter how pretty she is, you never like it, my girl. That's how we run. You ain't around, I spank your son, keep him in line. If we should die, I keep him like mine. God forbid, keep this in mind. I know, mama, you little baby, but these streets raise me crazy. Product of my environment, nothing can save me. Thanks for letting me bloom, for your wisdom, for your womb, for the roof over my head, for my shoes, for my bed. For the most important lesson in life was when you said, strive for what you believe in. Say goals and you can't achieve them. Thanks for the days you kept me breathing. When my asthma was bad and my chest was wheezing. Thanks for the look of love. Just as I was leaving on night, you thought I wouldn't come back, that left you grieving. Thanks for holding down the household when times was bad. As a man, I apologize for my dad. When the rent was due, you would hustle like a pimp would do. That wasn't a life meant for you. You're a queen, you deserve the cream. Everything that gleams, everything that shines, everything that's mine. Hey yo, RJ, I don't know if you're there, nigga, but we cooked today, Slim.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
We gotta do this again.
Okay.
Hey y'all, hey, look, they was giving you hella gifts. That's the most gifts a guest has got in my life before. This my nigga, y'all. I fuck with this nigga, man.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
look, when he showed me that receipt, I was like, Slim, you gotta do this shit every day. Let everybody know and put your foot down and make sure niggas know that you came through with that shit. It's fire. Don't wait for nobody. Don't follow no. That's hope, man. Stand on your own too, dude. Yo, I don't like bringing my people down. When I see intelligence and wisdom and genius shit. If you my friend, I'm gonna push you to greatness, and that's what's about to happen. You get it on, my little nigga. Hey, look, I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. This is the Cosmic Couch. I'm your host, Rashaud Poet. You know what I'm saying? Come in, kick your shoot off, relax your feet. But if your feet stink, stand by the door. You know what I'm saying? We do this every day at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I gotta go. My children up. You feel me? The naps is over, right? Peace and abundance. Hey, OG, I appreciate you.